Oh boy, I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. So I'm just getting back from the gym, ladies and gentlemen, and I have a story to share that is going to be very useful to anybody that is dealing with this kind of thing, which is mate guarding, and how some women are going to intentionally try to start trouble with you, especially if you've covertly rejected them, and now now she wants revenge. Now she wants to get back at you, right? Now this doesn't always happen, but I covertly rejected a girl's advances at the gym a week or two ago, and because she just wasn't really a modest woman, and I could tell that the energy was just kind of off about her. She's really, really attractive, though. I mean, one of the most attractive girls that I've seen, but man, I cannot do that. That's just not something that I'm capable of pursuing for a long term relationship. And so I pretty much just shook my head, no. And that was it when she was trying to get me to check her out and all that stuff. And turns out that she has a boyfriend or something, and she brought him this time to the gym, and she was staring at me right in front of him, and I noticed it, and I could see that she was looking at me, and she straight up told her boyfriend or whatever it was there, literally like 10 feet away from me, straight up told her boyfriend that I was staring at her and she was just looking back. And now this guy right now is looking at me like I'm some evil bastard that's trying to take away his girl or something. And this guy, the rest of the night, was giving me the evil eyes and the mug, and just at one point he just did like a death stare at me, and I just was like, yo, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, I'm not even trying to, like, yep, she's attractive, but I'm not going for that. I'm not going for that. And she was literally again right in front of him, just trying to get a reaction out of him. And I could tell that this is probably a problem that they've had in the past. Because most guys that are like this, when they get overly, I don't want to say insecure because it's not necessarily that word. It's just more that they're like, they're pussy whipped. And it's not really their fault. It's not really their prerogative, but they've blinded themselves with lust and called it love. And so this guy's thinking in his head, probably from all the times that this has happened. And you men need to be careful out there and just move accordingly and really just walk away from the situation, because there's no good that's going to come from the situation that a woman is trying to actually instigate some kind of reaction, some kind of response from either you or her boyfriend. And I knew there was something off about the energy. I knew it. I knew there was something off, man. I knew there was something off. And I'm glad that I just steered away from it. But ultimately, there's going to be times where if you're the guy that women are trying to pine after, and this isn't the first time that this happens, right? But if you're that guy, then you have to just, accept it, number one, because that means that you've got something going on. You're doing something right just by being who you are. You don't, here's the thing, guys like you don't necessarily have to put in all this effort and all this work to get the women. You just got to be who you are, and the women are turned on by it. Why? Because you know who you are, you're not afraid to express yourself, and you're just somebody that is calm, cool, and collected. And a lot of men are not this way. And it's not their fault, because I have compassion for these men in the multitudes. I have compassion for these men because I understand what that's like to be in the situation where, like, you're always worrying about if the girl is going somewhere else. And I straight up had a woman a couple weeks ago tell me that she would be willing to keep it a secret with me. She finally disclosed that she was in a relationship, and she just openly said that she's in a relationship and we could keep it a secret. It was mind-blowing to me because she was covert enough about it, but she was so sneaky and so smart. Like, I have to give the devil his due, because man, he was working through some of these women recently. It's so weird. I've had some of the best experiences with women over the past few months, and I've had some of the most bizarre, freaking from left field, out of this world experiences as well in the past few months. And I just thank God for the good women. I thank Jesus for the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women that are modest, that have some discretion, and that ultimately really want to build and be all in. You know, that's something that I've been looking more and more for. And like, I met this girl about a month or two ago, maybe just over a month, and she had one small tattoo. And yet she was feminine enough to where I realized, like, okay, maybe tattoos aren't necessarily going to be the end all be all. Because I used to be a guy that was just no tattoos, like, no, like, I don't have tattoos. I don't have piercings excessively. I don't mind if a woman has like earrings or something, but I don't like a woman to have excessive piercings, like belly button piercing, no nose piercing, no tattoos, no anything like that. Because time and time again, I've seen that these women, they're basically, what they're doing is they're disrespecting their body because of this. It may not seem like it, but that's what it is. When the Bible says that your body is a temple, and sometimes people want to say, like, oh, well, you know, the temple's got to have decoration. And it's like, okay, sure. But the body is a temple, meaning that you were already created by God. Like, is this not enough for you to love? Is this not enough for you as a human being to love? And so I look at some of these women with the like minor tattoos, and I'm like, okay, like, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But and with this woman specifically that I'm referring to from like a month or two ago, again, she had like one small tattoo, and it didn't seem like it was that big of a deal because she still had this femininity about her. But I'm to the point now to where, you know what, I'm going to hold true to this. A woman's got to have no tattoos, no excessive piercings. She's got to love her father. She's got to, like, even if their relationship isn't necessarily like 110% perfect, she's got to love her father 100%. She's got to love her father. And if she is not having any male friends, if she's willing to go all in with me, she wants to go all in with me because she sees the light of Christ within me. I don't want any woman that is not following Jesus. I am done even trying to trying to lead women out of the darkness that is the new age shit and into the light. If they're not receptive enough to look at themselves and take accountability. If the woman has accountability and she has accountability, then we can work with that. But ultimately, she's got to be following Christ. She's got to be following Jesus. And that means that she's got to uphold the law, statutes, and commandments, which is going to be very difficult nowadays. But you know what? If all the men around the world started to do this, started that were godly, started to really just lay down the law. Like, this is what's happening. This is what we want to see more of. This is what we want to see less of. Do with it what you will. You can do what you want. But if you're going to be here, if I'm going to be giving you my time, energy, resources, my masculine presence, you best behave. You best behave. Because God's watching and God sees. Called or not called, God is present, right? So you got to be careful with all these women, because it is treacherous out here, guys. It is treacherous. And there's times where I've wanted to just put my principles aside. I'm going to be real, because I just didn't want to continue to be disappointed. It's not like I'm even attached. I'm just, another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. I wish I could say I'm surprised. And I don't want to ever lose hope, because the minute that we become hopeless is the minute that we, and that we despair, is the minute that we completely give over to Satan. And I'm not planning to give over to Satan. I'm not planning to give over my will to Satan. Get thee behind me, Satan. Right? Everybody that follows Christ knows that Bible verse and knows that Jesus said that. But anyways, guys, these are just some thoughts that I've been having, and I wanted to make a video because I thought that it was going to be something that's important to talk about. And I know that there's a lot of men out here that are probably going through something similar. And ultimately, the best thing to do when a guy's mate guarding, that's kind of a compliment for you. It's kind of a compliment, because that means that there's just something about you that the ladies want. But you got to remember too that you're going to attract a lot of different kinds of women. You're going to attract a lot of different kinds of women, and they're not all going to be good for you. And that's just what happens when you become that guy. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.